take a Xanny bar. Are you feeling a little nervous? Well, then you should meditate. And take some deep breaths and maybe talk to a friend about it. Don't take a Xanny bar. We're going to talk about nervous tissue. This is part of our brain, our central nervous system, our peripheral nervous system, down to our fingers. And let's just kind of draw out the main player, the main star of the nervous system, which is, of course, the neuron. So the neuron looks a little something like this. Ooh, not too shabby. I gotta say, I'm pretty good at drawing with a mouse. Well, that part could have been better, but that ain't bad. Oh man, this guy looked like a cool chicken boy or something. Boom. All right. So down here we got something called the axon. This is the axon. And these are the dendrites. Dendrites of an axon. And the signal comes in here. We're going to get into all these details later in the semester. Just give you a little overview here. Signal comes in. Signal goes out. All right, and then this little thing here would be the nucleus. Oops, I want that in a different color. And I don't want the arrow. This would be the nucleus. Nucleus. All right, that's kind of the main player of the nervous system is a neuron. And these guys can all come in all kinds of beautiful shapes. There's something called a sensory neuron. I'm not going to draw out all these different versions. I just want to give you another little example of what this might look like. I'll draw it nice and long and thin like that. And these like go into your spinal cord. Oops, I want a little gap there. Like so, and then we are going to have our little fingers coming off. Like that, and then our little fingers coming off. There. And then we'll have our little cell body kind of off to the side like this. So this part here is called the cell body. I didn't label that. Cell body. Ooh, I like that cell body. And then up here we got its little nucleus. And so then this would be the dendrite and the axon. So you see they're both long. They can take all these different kinds of shapes. This would still, let's say, be the dendrite. You just have to know the direction it's coming. So the dendrite signals come in, dendrite, and down here the axon, the signals go out. And this would be a specific type of sensory neuron that go from, for example, the tips of your fingers to your spinal cord. They look like this. There's lots of different shapes. I'm not going to draw them all out. Neuron. Why did my fingers type neurally? Neuron. Neuron. And I don't like that there's that little dot there. Okay, good. Sensory neuron. But I do want to pull up this little picture. I don't have time to draw something like this for you guys. But look at these. These are beautiful neurons. I mean, just look at that. Just look how branched they are. So like over here, these would probably be dendrites, and these would be an axon. Same thing over here. This would be like, it's just beautiful. I mean, it looks like a tree. It's just branched as like a big, beautiful oak or something. And let's draw it very simply like what we saw here. Let's just kind of recapture this. So if we recapture this, oops. This would be the axon coming down here. There, and then we've got a bunch of dendrites coming up and off of this cell body. This guy's looking pretty cool. Like so. Okay, so this is the neuron, obviously. This is the neuron. It's got its little nucleus right there. This would be the axon. And these things would be the dendrites. But there's, you can see, there's all this other gunk, all these other cells in here. There's all these other little nuclei. What the heck are these other nuclei? There's like this. Like a nuclei there, there's like a whole bunch like up here, there's a couple here, and you can see that there's like some kind of cell shapes going on. Some look like this, some got like little tails coming off. Some of them might even like, check this out, some might even go like this, like wrap around the neuron. It's crazy. Some look like little stars, so on and so forth. Okay? These little cells in general are called glial cells. These are called glial cells. Glial cells. They help support the neurons. Okay? And there's all different kinds of glial cells. And we're going to go through these. I'm going to pull up 2 pictures. Just to kind of, and then we're going to be done, really. I'll kind of talk about some of these. And then I got this, like, it's like a little, like, actual, like, physical model that somebody built. It's really cool. Really like that picture. Okay, so let's just go through these so you can have a little understanding of some of these glial cells and what they do. So this here is actually, this is a blood vessel. And we'll talk about these guys later, these astrocytes. They look like stars. These form a barrier between the vessel, the blood vessel, and the brain. They form what is called the blood-brain barrier. So you see how they are kind of, there's a bunch of them, they'll all wrap around this blood vessel and it basically make like a little insulative coating, and they only let certain things through. For example, glucose. They don't let bacteria through. If bacteria got in your brain and started eating your brain, you would die. Crazy. So you can think your astrocytes for protecting your brain from bacteria. Oligodendrocyte. That's this guy right here. So here we have, these are our astrocytes here, right here. You can see those. Oligodendrocytes. Boom. You see these guys. This is our neuron connecting to our axons. And they kind of whoop, wrap around and they insulate the neurons. So these insulate the neurons. Insulate axons of the neuron. Pretty cool. We'll just say, yeah, axons of the, that's good. I'm not actually sure if they, I'm sure they insulate dendrites as well, but axon's fine. And then these microglia do things like feed and like clean up debris, like feed and clean up debris. You know, old fibers and things like that. You know, maybe something got through the blood-brain barrier. We need to get rid of it. And these ependymal cells, these make a barrier for the outside of the brain. So they keep the outside of the brain different from the inside. So you can see they make this nice, looking like a, it's almost like an epithelial layer there, right? It kind of is. So they would all have cell-cell junctions and so on and so forth. And these astrocytes would also have cell-cell junctions on their little feetsies here. Pretty cool. So that's nervous tissue. Pretty sick. Well, we're going to go, we got a whole week to lecture on that. So that's all I'm going to get into for those guys right now. And that's it really for this lecture. I could talk about homeostasis and some body cavities and stuff, but I kind of want to make it a shorter week and we'll just sprinkle that business throughout the rest of the semester. Also, directional terms, if you didn't have lab, I'll just shut up. Doesn't matter. That's it. Those are the 4 basic tissue types that we're made out of. Epithelial, connective, muscle, and nervous. ECMN. It's my favorite sports network. And this all started by a little sponge. So if you don't like biology, you can blame sponges because they were the first animal, and all other animals evolved from sponges. And then at some point, we evolved enough that we could then study ourselves, selves, and have these tissue lectures today. Okay, I'll shut up. It's weird. Biology's weird. We're a nervous system living in a spacesuit of other tissues. Goodbye.